Now for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Golden Wind. This is one cool JoJo story, full of gunfights, gangsters and stands, so sit back and enjoy. Only a few years after Part 4 in 2001 in Italy, Koichi is being hired by JoJo to find a boy suspected of being the son of Dio, who was conceived while he was alive. Giorno wishes to be the head gangster so he can have control over the city and stop drug pushers and actually help people, due to the police not being very helpful. After one accidental killing, Giorno gets his chance to join a gang full of all stand users and work with Bruno Bucciarati, who also wants to help the people. Along the journey, the gang must stop former gang members, protect the boss's daughter, uncover the boss's identity, and overthrow him to become the head gangster. This story is when stands became extreme. Honestly, for me, this is when shouting out a stand's name became cool, because each stand has an awesome music reference. The powers get more crazy and resulted in causing one character to get written out. But okay, it's time for stand 103, in which we don't have much to say. Stands are awesome in this story, but also near the end of the story, the stand arrow does return, which seems to be the way the gang got their stands, but also it's revealed by a mysterious man that the arrow has another power. Like what Kira did at the end of Part 4, if you're strong enough, you can inject the arrow into your stand, gaining amazing new powers, and your stand gaining the Requiem effect, and this causes your stand to gain amazing powers beyond any other stand, which caused a race to who at the end of the story to see who got the stand arrow first, and gave us a great climax between Giorno and the boss. This story has a lot of fun characters, but we'll talk about the gang and the bosses. Giorno is the son of Dio, and technically Jonathan too, since it was his body. As a young child, he saved a mobster, and the people around him showed him respect, so if he becomes the head, he can use that respect to protect the town, and so eventually he joins the gang. Though he is the youngest and newest member, he quickly proves his mentality and eventually becomes the de facto leader of the group. Unlike typical mafia bosses, he wants to give riches to the poor, which does show he does have the Joestar bloodline to help people. At most time, he is very level-headed like Dio, but he wants to help his teammates and leaves no one behind when they're in dangerous situations, like Jonathan. In my opinion, he is a Joestar and proves it time and time again. Gold Experience is a stand of life, turning objects into living organisms, frogs, snakes, etc. And if one of these animals is attacked, the attacker will suffer the damage rather than the animal. Gold Experience's ability can be applied to living individuals, causing the thought process to be gradually accelerated. The body can't catch up with the thought process and makes the damage from Gold Experience delivers more powerful. Later on, Giorno does discover Gold Experience has the ability to heal by turning objects into body parts, like bullets into blood vessels, and his own badge into a hand, but it is said to hurt a lot. Bruno Bucciarati. As in JoJo fashion for the main JoJo of the story to have his ally fight him first and quickly teams up afterwards. Bucciarati leads the group to become rogue and fight against the boss. He is a very smart individual and able to lead the gang in check while protecting the boss's daughter. I see him as one of the great allies for Giorno and truly an awesome gangster. Sticky Fingers has the ability to place zippers on objects and people with a touch. He can open holes in walls, split objects apart, and even unzip people's limbs. Sticky Fingers is a powerful and very useful stand for the gang. Arpicho is a loyal member of Bucciarati's gang. He was once a cop who aspired to protect people, until a fellow policeman died protecting him. From then on, he had no hope for living and decided to join the gang. Through all the hardship that comes to the gang, Arpicho stands by everyone, keeping a level head and even putting himself in danger to complete the mission. Moody Blues is like a tape recorder which can repeat past of anything of any person. Moody Blues becomes an easy target for enemies to attack since it cannot attack when it's doing the rebroadcasting, but once it's out of rebroadcasting, it can attack again. This is a very useful ability, especially when trying to discover the mystery of a stand user, or even trying to fly a plane. Mister is the gunman of the gang. When he was younger, he was in a crossfire of bullets, but all missed him, and he shot them all perfectly. After prison, he joined the gang to assist Bucciarati. Mister tends to use a revolver as his firearm, and believes the number 4 is very unlucky due to the events of his childhood. He may quick to anger, but he's reliable at all times and won't hesitate to use his gun to protect his gang. Sex Pistols is composed of 6 bullet-like people living inside of Mister's revolver, numbered 1 to 7, but no 4 because that's bad luck. Each Sex Pistol rides a bullet and then hits it in any direction for a perfect shot. They can even do tasks when instructed to. Each Sex Pistol has different personalities, love to eat, and if not fed, they argue. Narancia is rather simple and not the smartest of the gang. At the age 14, he was wandering around and was picked up by Fugo, and from there he meets Bucciarati. Narancia was overwhelmed with Bucciarati's kindness and that he vowed to follow him and forever and prove his loyalty by fighting any enemy that comes his way. Aerosmith is a remote-controlled stand equipped with machine guns and missiles to attack enemies. It uses radar to detect enemies' position. Its radar detects only CO2, which makes it a problem when there's a big crowd of people, but makes it hard for his opponents to escape him. Fugo was initially introduced as a member of the gang, but later deserts them and becomes a neutral force. But that happened because his stand was written way too powerful for him to stay a part of the story. It's a shame because it would have been nice to know more about him, because he did seem a rather interesting character. Purple Haze has 3 globes on each of his hands, each containing a powerful, deadly virus. The globes will break when he strikes something. Once this happens, the virus will spread rapidly, devouring animal matter. A human body will be annihilated in about 30 seconds. Also, it's hard for Fugo to control his own stand, but you can kind of see why it had to be written out the story due to him killing anyone in 30 seconds. Doesn't really make much for a cool fight. Trish is the only female member of the gang, and the daughter to their boss, Diavolo, and was living a normal life before she found out who her father was. She learned that he actually wanted to kill her, so all his ties to the past would be erased, including the people related to him. Also, her stand gets awakened as the journey with the gang. And Spice Girl can soften any object by greatly increasing an object's elasticity, making it nearly indestructible, and she even quotes that she can even turn diamonds soft. Finally, the villain, the mysterious Diavolo. He wants to erase all knowledge of his name from everyone's mind. This is why he wants to kill his daughter. He has a split personality to conceal his true form at all times, so no one could ever learn what his real name. I have to say that's all I can say about him, because you only know that about him, really. You do learn his backstory, but it doesn't really add much to the character. It's hard to actually explain this character. I personally think his motives are really off for what a gangster should be. But I have to say, he does have his cool moments, and he shares the coolness that all JoJo villains do share. King Crimson has the power to predict up to 10 seconds into the future and erase time, effectively causing a time skip for everything except itself and Diavolo. The nature of the time skip, for example, he predicts the bullet coming at him and erases the time that it took hitting him, so to the viewer, the bullet shot him, but appears behind him. As well as avoiding attacks, King Crimson also set himself up for deadly blows through people's chests. All in all, Part 5 is very enjoyable, though at first glance it could seem silly watching a 15-year-old boy try and become Italy's top gangster with a villain who has odd motives. But if you were to read this for one thing, it would have to be for the stands. This is what we've been waiting for in terms of stands. All of them are amazingly designed, have cool powers, and every fight is awesome. But the story is also full of character development, light-hearted moments, action and strong bonds, lots and lots of over-the-top punching, and most of all we get to see JoJo becoming a head gangster, and that's just cool. But now sadly we must press on, because we're almost reaching the end with Part 6. We go into Green Dolphin Prison in Florida, where Jolene Cujo is locked up. We follow her as she tries to escape prison, meet dangerous inmates, find her father's lost memories, and stop a man following Dio's ultimate plan. Next time, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Stone Ocean.